I'm here, guys.
Along and, hey, there you go. There's our buddy.
Gonna have a day. Gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day.
It's totally going to be a day. I was just telling everybody, I don't know when you plugged in, but storms were just buffeting the house, and it was a question as to whether I was going to be here at the beginning of the show.
Holy cow. Well, and you're right. I heard a little bit of you in the hallway as I was running my rear end down the hallway to try to make it. But, it's a calculation sometimes. The train is always usually more convenient than an Uber.
Yes.
Except when the train stops and stops and stops. And I want to bang on the window and say, I've got my buddy Mark Davis waiting. Do you not understand?
Talk show. Hello, talk show. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, it's just going to be one of those days. And everything's going wrong this morning. Everything's going wrong for me.
What?
Well, I wake up. You had your Food for the Poor campaign.
Right.
Now it's time for the network to have its Food for the Poor campaign.
Yeah, buddy.
The new kid is crushing it. Chris DeGaulle.
Hey.
Well, guess who's not? In fact, one of the donors on Chris's page said, I just want to do this to dethrone Mike Gallagher.
Oh, my goodness gracious me.
So, it's going to have to happen. If I fall behind, we're going to have to come back to the Metroplex.
Everybody's been so kind to me. We got a couple of days left. We got a few days left, so sit tight.
I got a month.
It says no. We do with my local one.
Oh, good. How yours goes through Friday?
I have no idea.
Okay, keep it coming.
It shows up on the log, guys. But then as soon as we clear the decks on our local one, we will turn our attentions and come to help.
Well, let me ask
buddy.
you. Let me pick your brain. Let me just before we get into no more funding for Ukraine, before we get to the country upside down and the joy that we all feel over what we did on November 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like when the network hosts compete with each other? Because the friendly competition idea is something that Salem likes. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid, and Hewitt and I have always, gone head to head usually, and I almost always beat him.
Right, that's why you enjoy it.
Right. Well, I don't enjoy being on the tail end now because this is the new kid, and he's a nice guy. I can't even hate him because he's a nice guy. Chris DeGaulle.
And it's a great cause. What are you going to do? Be upset that he made so much money to feed starving children?
How many starving kids are you going to feed? And I'm mad at you because you're doing better than me. I can't do that. I would be petty and shallow. But then again, I am petty and shallow. But when Hewitt and I butted heads, Hewitt always loved to trash talk. I don't think Chris is much of a trash talker, and I'm not really a trash talker. But I'm not. But Hewitt is like spiking the football, and Gallagher has drug cartel money, and he's robbing bank accounts. And then I would get my dander up, and then I would go back at him, which is not really. So, do you think should I even acknowledge that Chris is blowing the doors off the campaign, and I'm not? And,
yes.
Or that you're blowing the doors out, and I'm not.
I vote yes. I love the phrase because it's all in the spirit of competition, and pride. And
ego,
not even pride. I mean, maybe sort of, kind of.
I mean, some people don't like it. They really do. I get flack for it.
It's all a bit. Come on, everybody knows it's a bit.
Do they?
Yeah. Well, explain it to them.
I mean, nobody. Every time I do a bit, nobody gets it. If I'm ever sarcastic, people think I'm serious, and I'm going to quit. I'm going to retire if blah blah blah. And,
you're just so good. I mean, you come in with such sincerity. Everybody takes you literally at every turn.
I know. I'm literally mortified that I'm not doing well in the first few days. I'm glad you have been doing great. We had such a fantastic lunch. Well, we had so much fun. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to blame you. If I fall short, it's going to be because I put all my effort into the Mark Davis Food for the Poor campaign.
There you go.
So that's worth it. Hey, what do you think they're going to do tonight? You think they're going to storm out en masse when Trump starts speaking?
I don't think so. I think a display that is that petulant and that juvenile, surely somebody's going to say, guys, but as soon as I'm saying this, I'm using Earth logic.
I know.
There may be some who do. I just spent a little time talking to the local community here about Jasmine Crockett. Is Jasmine Crockett, 30th District, South Dallas Congresswoman, is she a massive national embarrassment or a rising Democrat rock star? And the answer might be both.
I think it's A and B, but the truth is, yesterday when she called Trump literally an enemy of the United States, and that went viral, and there were a lot. And I just was asking on the show yesterday, are there any consequences for that, Mark? Do you just get to say that with impunity?
Yes, you do.
You just whatever you want to say. The president of the United States is a traitor. Yep. And of course, I wonder what Jasmine Crockett thinks of the assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life. Has anybody ever asked her? I wonder if anybody has ever said, Congresswoman, when you call the president of the United States an enemy of the state, you think that helps put him in that helps to and contributes to putting him in harm's way?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, she's really, but B is true. She's everywhere. She's kind of she's the new AOC, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Why?
Young, attractive, mouthy,
edgy,
edgy, fearless, and not in a good way.
Stupid.
And throw all those into the mixing bowl, and it's instant media stardom, in the TikTok age. So, yep.
Well,
yep.
I guess. Well, we'll have to watch. I'll bet you anything. In fact, let's make a bet. Let's do. Hey, how about $40,000 bet? You put $40,000 into my campaign, and I'll put 40 into yours if I lose.
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, but I guarantee you there will be Democrats led by Jasmine Crockett who will storm out of his speech tonight. They're going to make.
I agree with you on that possibility. So we don't have a lot. But and how will that go? How will that? What will people be saying about it tomorrow morning?
The Trump haters will love it, and the rest of us normal people will say how reprehensible. I mean, but look, there's the Ukraine situation is a worthy debate. There's no question about it. There's a lot of things that the Daily Beast today, Fox News star breaks with Trump. Brian Kilmeade kind of went rogue, and he tweeted yesterday, can we all remember Russia is the bad guy? They invaded. They kidnapped kids. Whatever happens, Ukraine cannot lose, Brian Kilmeade said. Europe will be next. Can you follow that logic, Mark?
Yeah, I can. It's straight from the index cards of John Bolton and MSNBC. So to Brian, whom I have some use for in some ways, it's not about winning or losing at this point. It's about bringing the war to an end. What cannot happen is this endless war and funnels of billions of dollars in a fire hose from American taxpayers.
Well, let's talk about winning or losing.
Cannot happen. What was the first thing Brian said? Oh, that Russia's the bad guy.
Everybody
knows that.
That's not even a dispute.
No,
nobody debates that.
But Trump seems to love him. Trump doesn't love him.
No, he doesn't.
Trump is playing him.
He wants
Trump,
he wants peace, and you can't take. First of all, let's go to the second part of Brian's post. Ukraine cannot lose. Oh, you think Russia's going to lose?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you've been saying over and over, Mark. Ukraine cannot win.
Yep.
They can't beat Russia, and Trump knows that. Now, honest question and good faith question: do the Brian Kilmeades of the world think that Ukraine is going to topple Russia? Is that what they think?
Can't read minds.
I really wish I knew, though. I mean, because what's the end game for them? You know what the end game is? I suspect, and I'm ashamed of feeling this way, they just want a never-ending war. These are neocons who never saw an overseas war they didn't love.
Yeah.
They don't care about committing other people's children to a battle that isn't ours to fight. Now, the Lindsey Grahams of the world tried to make the argument, well, this is our fight, because if we don't defend Ukraine, well, Lindsey Graham's off the train. He's turned on Ukraine.
You and I were sitting there. I got home and texted you on Friday and said, please tell me you're watching what's going on in the Oval Office. Next thing I know, my phone blows up. It's you calling me where it had just come to an end. And then you went, wait, Lindsey Graham's on TV. And we both bailed and we watched Lindsey Graham say exactly the right thing. There's always the good Lindsey, bad Lindsey coin flip that you're going to get whenever Graham's on TV. And then I called you right back and went, hey, it's good Lindsey, because he also expressed the same kind of skepticism that Trump and Vance have. For Brian and other folks, I can't talk about individuals and read their minds. Is it idealism? Is it just the thought that if we just give it the old college try, that maybe the Ukrainians, the scrappy Ukrainians, can fend off the nasty Russians? I don't know. That's short-sighted and unrealistic.
The bitter news is that there are good guys and bad guys on both sides of this. I mean, Ukraine ain't exactly pure as the driven snow. And that's the part that the Brian Kilmeades of the world never seem to acknowledge. Final thing to kick around on this tardy edition of our M&M experience today. And incidentally, Steve from University Park just weighed in on the MyPillow text line. I don't like the bit quote unquote of faux trash talking about fundraising.
Faux trash talking.
Well, there are
No,
people.
it's real.
It's playful,
kidding.
but it's also for a good cause. I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to let Chris do his thing. I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to do my thing, and let's just pray that I don't get fired by the end of the month because I have bombed on the campaign.
Mike, it was going so well.
I know.
It was going so well.
When I was on the A train, I thought it was going to go really, really well. How about this final note? Dolly Parton's husband of almost 60 years, Carl Dean, passed away yesterday. He was 82. You know what fascinates me about that whole dynamic?
What?
He never went to anything she did.
No public events, none.
Nothing. He didn't go to concerts. He didn't go to shows.
And it wasn't lack of support. It wasn't, he was off doing his own. Not at all. It was that was their agreement that he wanted to be a
private person.
Yep.
And Dolly has always said that's just the way we like it.
Yep.
Isn't that amazing? Because I think about people who, you wouldn't dream of not having your spouse there. Your Lisa is at all your events. My Denise went everywhere with me.
Yep.
But there's something really neat. He didn't have anything to do with show business. He was like a good old boy, I think, from Tennessee.
Yep.
And she always went solo. And there was nobody at his place. And she went home at night and she said, that's all he cares about is I come home at night or when I'm off. I love that story.
Man. And do you know how easy it would have been for her? She's Dolly flipping Parton.
I know.
For her to fly off the rails or fall to the dark side or feel temptation or take advantage of God knows how many opportunities to be unfaithful or who knows how many ways to just dishonor that marriage. And for 6 decades, they did it right in one of the hardest industries and hardest environments to do it. God bless that woman. And God bless Carl. Rest in peace, Carl. We should all be like Carl. Be like Carl. Hashtag.
Right, and have a marriage like theirs. In 1966, he went to an award show, and he said afterwards, I love you, and I will support you in your career any way I can.
See ya.
But I am not going to any more of these wingdings. Wingdings. And Dolly told E! News a few years ago that Dean fell in love with me before I became a star. Yeah. She said that while he was proud of my achievements, that's not how he sees me. He loved me just for who I am. And I love that, especially a woman who made such a big deal about all the artificial, the makeup and the hair and all that.
It costs a lot of money to look this cheap.
I love her so much. I donate. I do an ongoing donation to her Dolly Foundation because she has a great foundation that benefits illiterate children and helping kids that learn to read and become literate. So, all right. Happy Tuesday. Sorry I was late. I love you.
No
Take
problem.
care. See you tomorrow.
Mike is there for you. Now we know he's there for you because he's there. And he'll be there at 10 as soon as we're done on 660 AM The Answer.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.